Let me tell you about a place where the sky isn't blue, but a bruised, heavy black. A place where the wind doesn't just blow, it screams with a primal fury. Yet, inside your own head, there is a suffocating, terrifying silence. If you listen closely up there, you won't hear the comforting sounds of life. You'll hear the sudden crack of ancient ice. It is a hostile, frozen realm that actively rejects human biology, a place that absolutely does not want you. But year after year, people will gladly sell their souls just for the chance to touch it. Creating videos like this takes a lot of time, research, and genuine effort. If you found it meaningful, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who would enjoy it too. It only takes a second, but it truly means a lot to me. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. Now, let's continue the story. They call her Komaloma. To the local Sherpa people, she is the revered goddess mother of the world. To the rest of humanity, she is known simply as Mount Everest. Forged millions of years ago by the violent, slow-motion collision of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates. She is the literal roof of our planet. Her jagged peak pierces the stratosphere at exactly 29,031.7 feet. To look up at its towering summit from the deep valleys below is to stare into a breathtaking dream. But to actually stand upon it is to experience a nightmare brilliantly disguised as glory. When you cross the invisible line at 26,000 feet, and you enter what is universally known as the Death Zone. Here, determination fades, and cold, hard science takes over. At this extreme altitude, the atmospheric pressure is so incredibly thin that each breath you take holds only a third of the oxygen you'd get at sea level. This triggers high-altitude hypoxia, a systemic failure of your organs. It is literally starvation, but instead of food, your very cells are begging for air. You feel a crushing, inescapable exhaustion. The sub-zero cold bites through layers of insulated down, bringing black, irreversible frostbite to your fingers, toes, and exposed skin. Sometimes, the dying, oxygen-starved brain plays cruel tricks. Exhausted climbers frequently report vivid hallucinations, seeing companions who aren't there, or hearing phantom voices urging them to just close their eyes and rest. Since 1953, when Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay first conquered this frozen monolith, thousands have followed. They rely heavily on the incredible endurance of local Sherpas who navigate the mountain's deadlier traps. But not all who dare to climb walk back down. Over 300 recorded deaths haunt these unforgiving slopes, a grim testament to the mountain's absolute supremacy. Because a rescue helicopter cannot generate enough lift in the incredibly thin air near the summit, the cruel rule of the mountain stands. Those who fall asleep in the snow, stay in the snow. The freezing temperatures act as a ruthless, macabre time capsule. Today, modern climbers step over the perfectly preserved bodies of the fallen, still wearing the bright neon jackets from the year they perished. These tragic figures have become silent, haunting trail markers, guiding the living toward the very summit that claimed their lives. Yet, the dangerous myth of Everest continues to seduce the ambitious. It is no longer just an explorer's final frontier. It has morphed into a highly commercialized bucket list item. Wealthy adventurers pay anywhere from $30,000 to well over $100,000 to buy their way to the top. This explosion of extreme tourism has created a bizarre and deadly modern crisis. Literal traffic jams inside the death zone. The final push to the summit has become a perilous waiting game. Imagine suffocating on top of the world, waiting in a single-file line of hundreds of climbers. You are clipped to a single fixed rope, slowly freezing to death as you wait hours for your turn to stand at the peak. And as human traffic chokes the summit, a quieter, much larger threat is actively destroying the mountain's base. Climate change is aggressively warming the Himalayas, altering the landscape forever. The ancient glaciers are melting at an unprecedented rate. This rapid thaw destabilizes areas like the terrifying Khumbu Icefall, exposing deep crevasses and making the mountain more unpredictable and lethal than ever before. We climb to conquer. We spend immense fortunes, risk permanent disfigurement, and push our lungs to the absolute brink of collapse, all to stand for just a few minutes where no human was ever meant to survive. But Everest does not care about our fragile human egos. It does not know our names, our wealth, or our ambitions. It stood long before we arrived, and it will outlast us all. We proudly declare that we have conquered the mountain, taming the wildest corner of the earth. But look closely at the frozen faces left behind on the ice. As the wind howls over the highest point on earth, you have to ask yourself a terrifying question: who really conquered whom?